Hey guys, it's Mike and Matt.
Hey everyone.
Guys, we're finally doing it. We're touring. Please come to our live show at the Philly Punchline on Wednesday, October 24th.
What time is that at? 8 p.m.?
8 p.m.
Wow.
Go to phillypunchline.com to get your tickets. Please come out. We already purchased all the seats with our credit card. We rented out the theater. We maxed out Matt's mother's credit card.
Yeah.
And she's asking us every day,
Please, everybody.
What is this $3,000 charge on my card? And
Right.
Matt has to lie to his own mother.
We need to pay this
We really fucking
nice
need this,
woman
okay?
back, okay?
We really fucking need you to come out. If you have any friends in Philly, family in Philly, tell them to come out. We're gonna have a little live recording. We're gonna talk about Philly crime. We're gonna have some Philly comics on there, and then we're gonna eat horse manure after the
Right.
after the show.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to climb poles.
Yeah. Yeah, please be there. phillypunchline.com for your tickets. And if you want to support us on Patreon, if you're not a patron, guys, it's so easy to delete your membership. My grandmother just did it recently. So if you want to donate a little bit of money, and then
come and go as you
cancel,
please. Yeah.
You know what happened? Because it was her credit. There's a problem with her credit card, so we're gonna get that money back.
Okay. Oh no!
But I gotta go back to Jersey and get her credit card and get her re-registered.
Right, you got to punch it back in for her.
Yeah.
All right.
But if you want to support us just for a little bit, you donate $5, then you cancel. It all helps out. We're never going to try to sell you underwear or Blue Apron or any of that horse shit as long as you're keeping us going. All right? Let's start the show. Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the podcast that's kind of about organized crime a little bit. We're keeping this facade going.
Sure.
And but I think we got a good episode for you today. I'm your host, Mike Recine.
I'm Matt Anderson over on the computer keys.
And we got a special guest today. We got a guy, we've been friends for a long time in comedy. He's got a new album out that guys should check out.
Yep, we're going to drop that link in the description.
Almost out. It's not out yet.
Oh, it's not out yet. All right.
Once we get
Tuesday, October 15th.
All right, perfect. Just send me that link. I'll put it in.
Yeah, that'll be coming out soon. Mr. Frank Liotti, everybody.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So I was just thinking about this, and I was I had that gig a while ago at Lafayette College when I opened for Jost, and that was when a kid told me to get off the stage.
Okay.
That's maybe the only time
boy.
that's ever happened, right? I was at a college, and we like to think
What
like
state is this in?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. Why are they
Easiest-
always in fucking Pennsylvania? Okay.
I don't know. Why? Did it happen?
No,
did it happen to you?
University of Scranton, all these stupid little colleges in Pennsylvania. I had so many college gigs in Pennsylvania.
It's
because
there's really such a lack of diversity at their school that they're overcompensating.
Right.
So anytime somebody is remotely, they gotta jump all
So
over.
some kid.
I forget what happened, but no, it was like it was one kid. So I was like, I go up on stage, I'm not doing that great, and I'm like, let me do my Chinese boy joke that always seems to work.
Yeah, let's whip these college kids up.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
I do this totally innocuous bit where I'm like, it seems like when you look at animals, right? The tastier the animal is, the smarter it is. So it goes like fish, turkey, cows, and then pigs are the most delicious and the smartest animal. So imagine how delicious like a Chinese boy is, and like usually that bit does okay, but this kid goes, "Get off the stage!" Yells it, "Get off the stage!" Everybody heard it. I was like, I forget what I said, but I had to like continue doing the set, and honestly, we're all like, "Oh yeah, we're veterans, we can handle anything," but that honestly like shook me because I had a room full of kids being like, "Yeah, this guy fucking sucks. We hate this racist piece of shit," and I just felt like, I don't know, my eyes felt like they were gonna like explode.
It's changed since the election.
But I talked to you. But I talked to you after that, and you were like,
did?
"This is why nobody." Yeah,
But
because I called Rosebud.
Yeah.
And you were there. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
were like, yeah, and you were like, "This is why nobody plays colleges anymore."
Yeah, it was
I don't know.
Chris Rock, Bill Maher, and Seinfeld.
Mhm.
And they all now. Can you imagine? Because the money that we get for colleges is pretty decent, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's if we make $1,000 or a few $1,000, Can you imagine what Chris Rock or Seinfeld or Bill Maher must make? At least $100,000.
Yeah.
150 at least. For them to not do 35 minutes at University by the Pothole
Yeah.
Yeah.
because the kids get so offended and you can't do your act, that says a lot about these kids.
But part of me feels like Bill Maher
100%.
and Jerry Seinfeld need to shut up a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, I can't
get-
listen to
get
Jerry
sick-
Seinfeld.
I
It's
can't
just
listen
I
to
don't care
Jerry
about the fucking
Seinfeld.
hotel soap. I just
Yeah.
it's I don't it's boring. You don't
Yeah.
know who he is when he's on stage, maybe.
Right.
But then off stage, he's like, I've been doing this a long time. I think I'm good at it.
Yeah.
If that's who you are and that's
Yeah,
all I know
yeah.
about you, then fuck you. I don't
He
want to
seems
see
like
you.
Right.
such a
A
yeah.
big
I don't want
disconnect.
to see you. Bill Maher, I feel like I should have been in special ed my whole life when I watch his fucking stand up. I'm like, is this funny? Because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I just hate what's his name, Trump.
Yeah. But then
Yeah.
that's funny. But Chris Rock doesn't do colleges
Yeah,
either.
I think he said it before Seinfeld. Everyone was like Seinfeld. Chris Rock was saying it too, that he didn't want to do college anymore because they're looking to be
Right.
offended.
Right. You can go do an Adam Sandler film and make all your money.
Oh, they're so full of shit.
And
But
you
that's
know,
the whole thing. They're full of shit.
right.
They haven't lived. They haven't seen anything. I didn't have any struggles with racism until I went to college.
Right.
You know
right,
why?
right.
I didn't have a single black kid in my high school on Long Island. So I just automatically took on
You
what I
didn't?
learned.
Really?
No, in Comac? No,
Long
not
Island,
one.
you would think.
Wow.
There
Yeah.
was one girl in high school who was pregnant that they bust in from another school district.
Huh.
A black girl.
Jesus.
I'm surprised.
And they
But
they picked her individually off the street. They were like, you know what? You want to come to school with a bunch of
here's
with a bunch of
diversity.
Italian kids?
She's 14,
Yeah.
black, and 8 months pregnant.
Oh,
Yeah.
But then when I went to college and I had to like work overnight tending bar on weekends, and some of my classmates who came from more money than I did had full-blown scholarships, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Yeah.
And I had struggles with racism.
Yeah.
And I still do now. Like a homeless person is more likely to go to Montreal than I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, what the fuck is comedy? Just give me a fucking dollar, motherfucker. Hey, you want to go to Montreal and do stand-up? It's like that. It's like,
Yeah.
You've perfected your act
but
on
it's
the
like
street.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, these kids are so fucking sensitive. And like, I get
Why not?
because I get why people are sensitive. It's a weird time we're living in. And
But
like,
can you
people are-
imagine it was a
people are
world full
affect-
of that? And we couldn't have laughter anymore at stuff that had a little bit of an edge. We'd be sick. People would get sick without us.
I think people are also
Yeah.
getting used to standing up to that overreaction, you know, because we haven't gotten a chance to do it yet. So,
Right.
like, I think, like, we're all just kind of getting used to this new
I
way.
just wish they wouldn't
You can
use like real shit like Kavanaugh and the Supreme Court to be like, we're too sensitive. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like if I go out to Long Island, which I usually like doing, or Jersey, because they're Republican shitheels, but at least they'll laugh at anything because they have no soul. So I love performing for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when they get quiet because they're afraid for different reasons, because they're hiding shit,
Yeah.
as opposed to like self-righteous reasons, like Hannibal Buress's room, you know, in
Mhm,
Williamsburg,
Mhm.
then it's like we have a fucking problem. Like if nobody's going to laugh at anything, what are we going to do jokes about? The automated fucking faucets? Who gives a shit?
You think a comic has to adapt a little bit to the times, and you have to sort of take into account what people are feeling.
That's so hard
And-
to say.
Yeah.
I
'Cause I
have to
feel
say,
like
I'm going to say
you
like,
just said-
yeah. I have to say, yeah, to a degree.
Yeah.
To a degree. Like Sarah Silverman was saying that the kids lead the way. But then I saw her at the Cellar doing a joke about crucifying. It was funny, crucifying her chihuahua. And if she's going to do it, she has to break the dog's legs if she's going to get it on the cross. That's
Yeah.
the shit they're
Right.
talking about. That's
Yeah,
offensive,
yeah.
you idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I love her,
Yeah.
but it's like, how are the kids leading the way if she doesn't get that they're offended by everything.
Yeah.
But that said, like my album is called Confederate Fag, and I make fun of. It is. I make fun of like I recorded it 6 months ago, and I make fun of like the pronoun shit. Like I identify as they, even though I'm one person. Like I make fun of that shit, and I kind of wish that I hadn't, or that I had prefaced it differently at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was too new and too green because now I'm at the root of why I wrote it. Like I come from an era where the guys just older than me were screaming and fighting for HIV medications, and they would work out so they could defend themselves. And now,
Right.
today, it's so self-serving without any reference to that or without any homage to it. Now it's like,
I
well, I'm
see.
sapiosexual. I'm these words they invented in June.
Right.
But I wish that I had clarified that more in the
Right.
album because I just look like a dick instead of explaining it more. And that is because of the time today. Like gays have enough shit heaped on them with this administration. than me fucking adding to it. So I kind of wish that I had been a little bit smarter about it.
Right.
Sure.
Not kinder, just smarter.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what
Well,
I
you
mean?
complain
Same
about
jokes.
you complain about your career a lot, and I mean, let's be honest, Frank. Your career's not going very well.
No, it's not.
It's really just a big dumpster fire.
This is
that's going-
segue. So you complain about
it's
your career.
your career is like a dumpster that's on fire.
I do that in
that's
private
going
with
downhill.
you.
But part of me wonders that maybe it's because they can't put you in a box. They can't put
Well,
you.
that's
in,
what I just talked about on Keith and the Girl. Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I saw people like me working,
Mm-hmm.
then I'd be like, well, what do they have that I don't? But there's not really another gay guy that's like me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not another Italian. Like Sebastian's not like me. You know what I mean? I don't have jokes like, even though I love him, I don't have jokes like that.
Sebastian's like the only Italian who kind of made it, though, right? I mean, recently.
Yes.
In recent memory.
Absolutely. Like the new fucking preview, a trailer I saw at the movies last night.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the smart black dude that the Italian idiot's driving around and chauffeuring.
Right.
Because it's
Oh,
2018.
yeah. Oh, the Viggo Mortensen
And guess
movie
who's
was like,
playing the lead? Not an
not an
Italian.
Italian.
Because there is
It's
no
fucking
Italian
bullshit.
Viggo Mortensen.
They
Because
really-
there are no Italians that work
There's no Italians at work.
under
Thank you.
70 years old.
Yeah.
I have a fucking Yale
saying
degree from the drama school.
No, but you're just a fucking.
and I don't have an agent.
Yeah.
I have a Yale degree and SUNY Purchase. That's two programs that take 7 men
No,
out
they
of
don't.
1,500.
They don't respect us.
They don't.
at all. They want to act like because I
We're
did
still
a
the
joke
group that it's
about
okay
this.
to dump on.
Right.
Of
you
course.
Guys, yeah,
Like
you
you'll
guys are
see,
still-
hey, Vinny Uga, hey, Frankie. Like some
No,
white
but
dude or
even-
black dude
even
doing
these
that.
even these like NYU educated kids, like we're sort of like the racist. We're the safe racist punching bag.
Absolutely.
Which I guess is fine because it's like we
It's
have sort of
not.
acclimated.
I don't think
well,
it is.
Okay, but we have sort of acclimated and become white. But it is kind of like a go-to. Like all the fucking Scaramucci jokes. I got a little tired of. I had
Right.
to defend my boy on social media.
Right.
because every fucking joke was like, hey, look at this fucking guinea. Why don't you go slurp your
Your
mother's
mo-
spaghetti?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
fucking
That's why
retard.
like City College,
don't-
City College still considers us people of color.
I think they still secretly look down on us.
Of
Right?
course they do.
man.
Like in
Yeah.
other words, if I call myself
This is
like
the best day of my
people,
life.
if people don't consider me a person of color,
Mm-hmm.
then see me for white roles.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
but they won't.
I hear black actors complain. I'm like, when I go to the fucking movies
Yeah.
and there's 47 Tiffany Haddish
you
films.
can't even play a terrorist on Homeland.
because I'm not a person of color. That's what they say to me.
I did
My
it-
first audition to understudy on Broadway,
Yeah,
they took it away from me because I wasn't Hispanic. And I said, you need understudy. See me for the white guy.
right.
And they were like, well, we are so the group. There's not a single A-list actor under 70 that's an Italian. And
Mm-hmm. No.
we are fucking pissed
Under
on and
70,
shit
right?
on. And the thing that's so sharp, what you said, smart people do it too. And it's still okay.
Yeah.
Like that's really like, you know,
Because I think in the 70s and 80s Italians were like a fad a little bit. The way
70s
that-
definitely.
Yeah, we were like we were ethnic.
We were new. Pacino, De Niro, we were like a new, rare and exotic bird.
Yeah.
You ever walk
Right.
into a fucking room with like a girlfriend's family? Like I remember when I was younger, a parent said to me, "You're like something," and it's in my stand-up,
Yeah.
right out of the Corleone family.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going up to a black person and be like, "You are totally like something right out of I'm
Family
gonna get
Matters.
you, sucker."
yeah.
Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. The guy with the stuff under his arms, you're just like it's not okay.
I did a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
about
yeah.
that where I was like, yeah, it's like white people don't respect you, then you can't audition for Hamilton. You know, if you went to if I went to a Hamilton, I was just be like, why don't you go back to the sanitation department? You fucking-
I used to do a
you
joke
fucking
that was a
cracker devil.
take on because I used to see so many, especially at the mics. I used to do a joke like, I don't have a problem with black people, but no, it's the other way. I don't have a problem with gay people, but because there was like I would see at these open mics constantly, I don't have a problem with gay people, but AIDS, and I was like, okay, what if it were the other way around?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's like if you're gonna go there, you gotta let everybody go there. It's not just you that's oppressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And let's be honest about Sebastian. I mean, it's nice to see one of us make it, but the guy is kind of a cartoon.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, like, there's not really a lot of writing. It's like, you ever go to the grocery store? And you
See,
have
I
your
think
cart?
there is. Here's the Entenmann's cake.
Yeah.
Who's ringing the bell? Yeah, but that's what I grew up with. Here's the Entenmann's cake. Come in. I have coffee and cake. It's to me. I love hearing like a representation of me because hearing like Richard Pryor make fun of white people, I was like, I don't know who those white people are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't grow up with money. My dad was a janitor. What the
Yeah.
fuck are they talking about? Privilege.
Yeah.
I got pulled over last night in fucking Jersey for no reason.
Right.
He looked in my car. He went in my fucking glove compartment.
What?
It's like,
See, I'm kind of a Cusimano, my family.
what's that?
You ever see Sopranos?
Yeah.
Tony's neighbors, who's like a doctor.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're like in the suburbs. My dad is in finance, and
that's
my
amazing.
My mother's Irish, so I get to. I
Oh,
guess
so you're a half breed.
I'm like a half. Yeah.
See, my parents lucked out. I grew up in a nice house on a cul-de-sac that they bought for $1.50 in the 1950s.
What?
So my sisters were, one's dead, 18 and 14 years older. So my parents had me in a different time where you could buy a house on Long Island for $15,000.
Yeah.
1.5. Like now, I can't afford a fucking skittle in Midtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a different time.
And that generation's like, you guys are lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or they're like, you guys are lazy because they're dead.
Right.
Because they're so old.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you guys can take it, though. I feel like that's why
Why?
Italians have been lumped on for so long, is because you guys seem so like masculine.
That's what you think.
Well,
but
it makes you
We still
strong.
bleed like everybody else.
Yeah. We still get sad on the inside.
Matt is like everything you hate about Midwesterners just rolled into
Happy.
a
Oh
person.
yeah.
Yeah.
My mom. We went and got Italian food, and she called it Italian. And
I love that.
I couldn't get over it.
Yeah, white women call it Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
He goes, did you hear this report about climate change? Like, doesn't that make you just want to like move to the Midwest? And I'm like, no, because I'm not a fucking coward, okay? I'm going to stay here and drown with everybody else.
It's like many Italians like climate change. What do you mean when you can't go to the fucking beach or Six Flags
Hey,
that day?
hey,
That's climate change.
it's fucking cold out here. I would love a little climate change.
Hey, it doesn't have any fucking meat in it. It's a pork chop. You
Yeah.
can still eat it if you're a vegan.
Can wear my velour shorts for another couple
Velour
months.
shorts. Hey, she's fucking blonde. You go for the blondes, huh? You like the whites.
Yeah. But anyway, I called you when that happened, and you were like, yeah, fuck these kids. And but
This isn't a pedophile episode, though. Fuck these kids.
They're over 18.
oh, but here's what I want to say. There's something about so there's a weird thing where what are you like 54, Frank?
Me?
Yeah.
Jesus
You
Christ.
can't shit on me this episode with stuff that matters in show business.
No, I know, but that's the other thing I was gonna say, where it's like you feel yourself
I'm
getting,
over fucking 40. No, Tuesday was my fucking birthday.
Oh, you are.
Oh,
So there were landmark days. you
happy
know?
birthday.
Thank you.
Belated.
Go ahead. Go on.
That was
go
sincere. Mike started laughing.
On. Go on
at
with
me.
the question.
No, I'm just
You know what
saying.
Mike said to me one day? We were at the stand, which closed down. I wonder why, because they're such nice people. Mike looked at me and goes, "You're too handsome to be so fat." No, he probably said good looking. You're too good looking to be fat. That was the first time I've had like a non-gay man crush on Mike Recine, because that's so my sense of humor.
Yeah.
That kind of busting balls, but it's
Yeah. Like a nice little
It
compliment
was so
in the middle.
fucking funny.
Mhm.
Anyway,
but that's the thing, Frank. You're a guy who like you go on stage, you do really well, and then I feel like these industry people, they go, because they don't know what to do with you.
they call me in,
Yeah.
and then they don't know. Like I was just talking about I shouldn't say his name, but the nice fat agency. They called me in. They set up a date to come and see me at Caroline's, the two of them. And it was one of those times on stage where I feel like if you really have to crush as a comic, you probably will. If you really have to and you're in the right frame of mind. And it was one of those sets that's like a dream. And he said he wasn't going to stay after, but he did. And he went on and on about how excited he was. Then she came out and like her retinas were sliding off. She was so wasted. You had in the palm of your hand. You were so amazing. And then 3 weeks later, I called them. And they said,
Now imagine if we went on stage that drunk,
I know. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Just people, they
said everybody's not on board. We can't get everybody on board. So, and that I cannot tell you how many times I've heard that after like a glorious show and meeting.
Yeah.
And what it comes down to is type, I think.
Right.
Otherwise, there are a lot of 19-year-olds on Colbert lately.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
get
who
it.
gives a
It's
shit about
youth-
Frank's career, everybody? Let's
Yeah.
get into the.
Yeah, why'd you even fucking bring it up? Now I have to go
No,
to
because-
fucking Taco Bell
because
after
I
this
want
episode.
no, because I want to
Fuck
talk
my
about.
throat with a burrito supreme.
I just want
Yeah,
to talk
what were you
about
getting at?
because the college stuff. where it's like,
right.
I just think that like if you're young, there's something about like looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, I look shittier than I did 2 years ago. And it's going to get shittier and shittier, like dealing with that. And also like, the person I fuck, their body's going to deteriorate too.
See, that's because you're a straight dude. Gay guys get better with age, and we cheat.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Well, I don't have to be straight forever. I mean,
Not for the
It
right
sounds
price.
good.
Yeah, Mike's like, I want to cheat
it
too.
sounds good. I was cleaning my hallway today because
I thought you said cleaning my hole. I was like, all right, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up, Queen. Cleaning my hole. Go ahead.
douching my hole.
Cleaning my hallway. Okay, this is not. Don't look at texts now. The listeners don't know what you're doing.
All right, so, but I was cleaning my hallway because the landlords put up a bunch of signs like we're gonna throw all your shit out, get it out of the hallways, and I took like 10 pairs of my girlfriend's shoes to bring in the house, and I had to carry them like 2 at a time, and I'm like, I really miss the boat on being gay. Like if I could be with somebody and we wear the same shoes, and I don't have to clean up all her fucking bullshit.
I have to say, like when you can wear the same clothes.
Yeah.
Like I fucking miss that because for 14 years I've been with somebody who doesn't fucking eat. He eats, but not like I do. He's fucking slim.
Yeah.
Slim. It sucks. It's like we're roommates. There could be a fucking nanny cam in the room and they could show it on Nickelodeon.
But cheating
14 years of sexless bliss.
But you don't cheat on this person.
So did I tell you how I got dropped from my college agent? I was in Wyoming.
You want to edit that out?
Can I just no?
All right.
Can I? He won't
go
listen.
ahead.
I didn't say anything. Just like Brett Kavanaugh wouldn't answer the polygraph.
Yeah,
I
the
was
Devil's
in-
Triangle's a drinking game.
What's the thing with the letters? The fist, finger, fuck,
Yeah,
flagellate. I got dropped from my college agent. I was like, "What's going on with what's it called? Manbla? What's it called? Napa." Manbla is the one where the Man Boy Love Association, which is fucking
South Park.
crazy.
Oh, NACA.
South Park, NACA. I was like, what's going on? And she was like, well, my web designer took a bunch of people off the website. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You didn't even let me know. I had gotten it the year before, Northeast. I got a NACA showcase. And it starts on Thursday at 3:30.
But that's how little they give a fuck.
They don't
about
give a
you.
fuck.
Where honestly, like, yeah, if it was some tech intern who took your name, they'd be like, "Oh, well, I guess we don't need that client anymore." You know what I mean?
All that
all
money,
we have is our podcast.
all that fucking money and work, and I got. It began at 3:30 on Thursday in Hartford, Connecticut.
But you do these college gigs, you don't even deserve the money. Anyway.
I got
mean,
a 3:30 appointment on Thursday. I was first. The lights were still on. No host.
Yeah.
5 minutes cold. I didn't get one school, and they dropped me. Right. I guess that's what you do.
Yeah.
But I was in Wyoming at a community college, and there was a fat kid in the back in the dining hall looking miserable. I was like, you seriously look like I just told you the test was positive. This is a college. You're not supposed to do that. And he was like, I just took 4 roofies. I came to see if you's funny. And I said, take 2 more and shove them up your asshole. And then I deserved it. I deserved to get dropped. Because I hated them so much.
Well, no one deserves that kind of money anyway. I mean, I remember.
Yes, we do.
I remember like 2 years ago. Yeah.
You don't think for college? Look at what happened to you.
I guess we do. What happened to me?
You got heckled, because the thing is, it's like, I don't want to be like that dick that's like, in this country, we don't support our artists, but we fucking don't.
Yeah.
People love comedy.
No, but I got a gig at Ohio, I think Cleveland State or something. It was like it paid $4,000.
Holy
I'm like,
shit!
well, surely this is a mistake. Now I only had that and like another one for $3,500
Right.
one time. Those were the highest
Right.
like, college gigs that I got. But I was like, this is not a way to make a living because you have this big chunk of money and
That's
you're like,
the show business. That's like
Yeah.
if you get a TV role for a guest spot.
yeah, you're
It's
like,
like
well,
nice
I
work
don't even know
if you can get it.
I don't even know what to do with this. Yeah,
Right.
And now I'm back to like putting people's beds together and breathing in cat.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's like I still
But yeah,
10
that's the way it
bar. I
works.
got suspended from my survival job.
Yeah.
How's that? Being in your fucking 40s with a Yale degree, serving artichoke dip for a living, and then getting suspended for fighting.
It could be worse.
Like I'm in 10th grade. It could be worse. I could have full-blown AIDS and
yeah.
a child that I don't know, if it's going to make it past 4 years old. And
Right.
hello?
Could always be worse.
All right, so let's so this is a crime podcast. We found this article about what it's like to be gay and in a gang. And what this lady found, she's a researcher, she's an LGBT person herself. What she found was that, well, okay.
In the picture, describe the picture.
It's
It's a black dude.
It's a black dude
Who looks like he might have on white nail
tattoos.
polish. Like the nails are long.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's tatted up and muscly.
He's a homo thug.
Covering his homo thug on the DL.
Yeah.
He's covering his face.
It's got a nice mood to it too. Black and white.
They couldn't find an actor. Hey, we have a print audition for you, Lamont. This is for What's It Like to Be Gay in a Gang. I'm not going in for that fucking thing. You can cover your face. You can. Oh, all right. Well, I can cover my face. They asked me to go on an HIV medication ad once, and I said no.
Really?
Oh,
Did
that'd
you
be
say you'd be
awful.
perfect?
That
Were
would
you-
be awful.
I thought Mike was going to say you'd be perfect.
Oh.
What do you mean?
How did you not? Yeah. That's like Frank. Like that's an audition where like you walk in and there's like 20 other people who look exactly like you, and they look more like they have HIV.
The emaciated ones. Can you imagine a room
I
like
fucking quit.
somebody wheels in an IV?
Yeah.
What are you telling me? I have HIV and I can't even get the part for guy with
Thank
HIV.
you. I don't, by the way, if there are any hot listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry
Well,
to
this
interrupt
lady,
you.
this lady did some research about a bunch of gay men who were in gangs, and a lot of them were they were all between the ages of 18 and 28. The majority were men of color, and they all lived in or near Columbus, Ohio, which is referred to as a Midwestern gay mecca. And what that means is there's a cheesecake factory. There's
Yeah.
one cheesecake factory,
And everybody's
where,
got to go there and do a couple circles around it.
yeah.
A Midwestern gay mecca.
Yeah, which I don't know. Have you been to Columbus? I guess it is kind of like pro gay.
No, just just Akron, I think, and Akron and like surrounding small towns on a college thing, but not Columbus or
That's
Cincinnati.
where LeBron's from, right?
I don't know.
Cleveland.
Akron, Ohio, at that?
I don't know. It's a big sports school.
Okay.
I remember that
Um,
from being there.
Now they said some of these gangs were straight, some of them were gay, some of them were lesbians, but some of the gangs were like anti-gay, some of them were gay gangs, and some of them were hybrids.
Hybrid gangs.
What's hybrid gay?
I guess it means
It
like
runs
they're
on-
accepting- yeah.
It runs on feathers and unicorn tails
Yeah.
instead of gas.
Oh,
They all drive
but
te-
only in the city.
They all drive Teslas.
Pink switchblades.
Yeah.
Cut you up like a pescado, motherfucker. Spread that hole.
So this lady in this
Faggot.
article,
I said it. Faggot. Go on, Mike.
this lady in this article goes on about herself for a while, and then she talks about the people that she interviewed. And like she said, you're not allowed to be effeminate in these gangs. You have to be financially independent. And, you know, a lot of these people, only a handful of them came out to their traditional gangs. And this sometimes resulted in serious consequences, such as being bled out of the gang, like forced out through a fight, which is kind of a shitty way to leave
What does
your
that
job.
mean, forced out?
It means they beat the shit out of you. If they
Yeah.
find out you're gay, they beat the shit out
Better
of
than
you.
killing you, but I mean, that's still like the worst day of your life for sure. You're getting
Wow.
fired and beat up in the same day.
It's also crazy. Like, you have the stress of, like, you have to sell drugs. You have to, like, have the right tattoos. You got to
Mhm.
beat together. You know, you might get pinched by the cops. And then you
Right.
got to hide your sexuality. I mean,
It's
it
nuts.
seems
Yeah.
like- yeah.
In that article, she talked about like this guy setting up a sex date. I forget through what, but he ended up like meeting other gang members who didn't know they were out.
There's another guy.
I was
in his-
gonna say I've been around long enough at this point. The stereotype of
One time I went to a glory hole, and it was Matt on the other side.
can you imagine?
It's like, oh man, see, you
Explain
same
what it is.
podcast.
Not everyone's
Wow.
gonna know what that is. Explain what it is. Does everyone know what a glory hole is?
Our listeners know what a glory hole is.
I only saw one in real life once at an adult shop on 8th Avenue. I got
Really?
scared. I didn't know there was no penis in it, but
Wait.
like
I feel like me and Mike would just like try to like look at each other through the hall and be like, hey, what's up?
I've seen porns where they like eat both sides, like the front and the back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really?
Like they have like a larger hole for the back, or it's still that
No,
small
they
hole?
they make it work.
They just really press it up there.
And then I'll leave a comment like, Dennis, I know that's you. Your mother and I just want you to come home. Wait a minute. What the fuck was I going to say about glory hole? About
Yeah, 8th
Well, what
Avenue
I
was
wanna know
scary.
is,
oh,
like-
the crime thing. Wait,
Go
this is
ahead.
important.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've learned that stereotype, like, you know how everyone makes fun of Pence or
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham? Like, the angrier and more violent they are.
This is something I
they're
wanted to
fucking
ask.
homos.
This is something I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of obvious, I guess. Right?
but
I
it's
mean,
like with that kind of violence, I mean, I get other people adding, like the way like a Manson girl, they were like, you have to get your hands dirty too. And that poor Leslie Van Houten was like, okay, and did it. And she's in prison for the rest of her fucking life. I feel like there's the
Wait, who's
ringleader
that? Who's
behind
that?
Like, in other words, say the Manson family, they forced this one girl to go along.
Yeah.
And then when they were done, they were like, you have to get your hands dirty too. So stab him. And she did. And she's, there's a difference between a killer and somebody that is forced to like stab a corpse.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, like, with this, the ringleader, I feel like the ringleader of stuff like that kind of violence is, most likely to be found in a bathroom fucking stall or hiding a really painful secret.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Jessica Kirson always says on stage about people who get quiet when somebody comes out. Yeah, you get hard at the gym and you don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's funny because it's true. People are so out of touch with who they are, or kill it or hide it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so I wanted to say this for later in the show, but maybe I'll ask you about it now.
Mhm.
So like, there is that kind of that stereotype, right? Where people go, oh, homophobes are really gay, right? So
Right.
people go, Mike Pence and Lindsey Graham are gay. I mean,
Well, Lindsey Graham
Lindsey-
is like a fucking drag queen.
yeah, Lindsey Graham.
He's
is
serious.
kinda-
He's like he exhibits behavior that's.
I would love to see him act like a drag queen, though.
He did at the fucking hearing for Kavanaugh. He
I
just
just want to say that this is a disgrace, and you know what? I'm
unfair.
ashamed of all of you.
I know. Can you get me a coffee? Just honey, cripple that with a dab of cream. Thanks, girl. She's my girl, but she's like a member of the family.
I love it. Like he's at these rallies with like these rednecks who's like, hell yeah, Lindsey Graham, baby, that's my guy.
Thanks. I picked out.
I'm not gonna take your guns.
Honey, I'm not gonna pick out. You want
and I
dark
think-
meat or light meat with this chicken, honey? I'll pass it over
And
to you.
marriage is between a man and a woman. I just
Also-
want to say
I'm not. I have never found Mr.'s right.
there are two
He's
pronouns.
never been married.
Yeah.
He's never been married. He's like 72. He's never fucking been married.
Yeah.
And Miss Pence, Jesus Christ.
So
Mother,
that's
yeah.
so wait. So do you think Mike Pence is gay?
Yes,
All right.
that gaydar thing. I just.
Because it's weird when he talks. He does this weird thing with his mouth, right? Where he's like,
Mhm.
it almost seems like he's kind of like trying to hide something. Like you can see the
Like
you
it's
can,
in
he's
his
got
mouth.
Mike's
like
doing like lip tension, like
he's got
someone
like
who really
there's
wants
like
to.
there's like a tension in his face
Because he wants to put those tense lips around a penis, and he
Yeah.
just can't deal with it.
Yeah, he's hiding his
Anybody
teeth.
that's vice president who spends time going to literally an anti-LGBT rally meeting and whatnot, really, you have nothing better to do? What the
Yeah.
fuck are you hiding?
Yeah.
If you're going to something that's so antiquated and that's so like, or that other moron who
He also-
who
when
can
he-
see Moscow from her backyard,
Sarah
she's
Palin.
telling me she tolerates people. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
He also, when Mike Pence was in New York, he went to Chili's. That's where he went with his family.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I think that's
When they
because
got
there's no.
booed at Hamilton?
That's because there's no dick-shaped foods at Chili's, so he like made it list. He's like, okay, where do what restaurant do the
Chili's.
food look like vaginas? And they're like, she was like, Dad, you want to go to Nathan's Hot Dogs? He was like, No, I don't want to go to fucking Nathan's Hot Dogs.
We'll go to Chili's.
Yeah.
Where are all those Latino dishwashers at? I got to talk to them.
Yeah,
Come here, Enrique.
but he's always his. I think Mike Pence's mannerisms are really. This is not an accurate impression, but
I don't know what he
there's
sounds like.
He's always like frowning, kind of.
Well, he looks like those ads that like one would see for like a gay cruise, and they have like four guys in like pastel speedos. He looks like he'd fit
Yeah.
right in with that.
He
with
looks
the
like
waxed
the
body.
guy in the gay cruise ad where he's like the one who bought the cruise and he's in the center.
He looks like somebody whose lumbar spine would slip out from all the fisting because his asshole is so opened up and loose because he's such a queen.
Right.
Excuse me.
But
I'm sorry. Is there another restroom here?
okay, so that's what I want to ask you about homophobia though. Is
What?
like because people go, oh well, they're homophobes are gay themselves. But do you think there's another side of that coin where it's like you don't have to be black to hate, to be racist, and you
Well,
don't
here's
have
the thing. Like with so let's say the black community and homophobia. You know the way.
Oh yeah, let's do it, baby.
All right. Well, I mean, it's a community in particular because people say that it's so, and strong in the black community,
Yeah.
which is frustrating. Like to me, it's frustrating when like, who was the woman? What's her face? Susan Olsen from the Brady Bunch throwing around faggot and people.
Oh,
to
Cindy?
me, like like
Yeah.
when like
Yeesh.
other minorities or other people with a struggle come out against gays, it hurts more.
Wait, what's
To
her
me.
struggle?
What?
What's her struggle?
She's a woman.
Yeah.
Like in
yeah,
other words,
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
why like when women are
Child
homophobic, like
star.
Sarah Palin or Child star.
They do have
She's
it
a
hard.
fucking. She has that. She's such an alcoholic. You know when the face looks like it's melting like wax.
Yeah.
There's a thing of her on YouTube where she's throwing up, and her son's like, "She does this all the time." Wait, it hurts. It hurts more when it's another group that. But it also, it's like ISIS throwing someone off a building. It's religion. So a lot of the African American community is very religious. Muslims, like everyone is welcome here except faggots. It's like, let's tell the truth. No Muslim has ever come out and been like, it's okay. You know what I mean? And people may call me small-minded, but
There's a couple though, right? Aren't there a couple people?
I haven't seen any Muslims being like, I'm reformed.
Who's that lady,
If
Hershey
there
out?
is somebody, if someone can send that to me, I would love that. But like one of my
Bill Maher
closest
has
friends
had, I
called
think, a
himself a
gay-
recovering Muslim. I was like, really? I was like, is it seriously like Catholicism? There's like no. He's like, no, it's not. There's no, it's
No
okay.
Wiggle room.
No.
Mm.
He said there's no wiggle room. So I really do have a trouble, like with organized religion and a lot of communities that hate on gay people. It stems from religion,
Yeah. Why do you think? Let's get into a segment we do every week.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the black community so homophobic?
Yeah.
God
Why did
made
Michael
you-
Sam have it so bad?
God don't want you gay.
Yeah.
Even though Jesus wore that nightgown with no underwear underneath it. And those Birkenstock sandals. Like
I mean,
a
I guess-
lesbian.
Yeah.
I guess my
Because of
theory.
religion.
I'm
What?
picturing
Religion.
God with a
Yeah.
sleepy time hat and a candle.
Old
My theory.
Old Testament.
I mean, but I think there's also something about like being black. It seems really hard.
Sure.
So you really like. I noticed like black people like really have to have their shit together, right?
Mhm.
So like
More
like,
like
if
I've
you-
heard people say more is expected of you.
more is
You have to
expected of you.
like remember what somebody can I say this? You can cut this. Mike wrote on Facebook, like something on Facebook is funny if I remember it 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I wish that when I started stand up, somebody had told me it was for black people.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen him say that.
And somebody went off on him, like, you don't
They
know
did?
what it's like to be in the writer's room and have to prove yourself more. And I was like, oh shit.
No, but somebody said that.
Yeah, you wrote back.
Yikes.
No,
You're like, oh, motherfucker, what's wrong with you? You don't remember nothing.
man, stop that bullshit.
You don't remember nothing. What's
Yeah.
wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why so many Italians racist? Probably because we're so fucking similar. And Italian people don't want to admit that like I have
Yeah.
African blood in me from 23andMe. It's mostly
Sorry.
the northern and the western.
Yeah,
No
I
Eastern.
got my results back, and they're pretty okay.
Really? I have a
No.
little percentage of Ashkenazi Jew.
No, but my
Mm.
sister thought my dad was black for like the first 8 years of her life. Because my
Really?
dad had jet black hair and
Mhm.
kind of like tan skin. Yeah, yeah. He was like
Who's the Irish side?
My mom.
Your mom. That's
Yeah,
right.
Irish and Polish. But yeah, it's just the funny thing with the black community is like it does seem like you really do. If you're black, you have to have your shit together a
Mhm.
lot more. Like if your shoes untied, like a black guy would be like, "Hey, your shoes untied." Where it's like when you're white, you can just be a fucking slob,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not shower and
Yeah.
leave your house in a
Flies,
bathrobe.
your flies
It
down.
really doesn't
geez.
matter.
That's-
If you're black and you leave your house in a bathrobe, it's like not gonna.
Hence the
you're not gonna
term
have a
white
good day.
privilege. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
if black people in Williamsburg, where I lived, behaved like the white women who you hold the door open for at what the fuck is the Blue Bottle Coffee with a yoga mat
Yeah,
or with
Mhm.
their prams with their baby carriages. You can't get away with it. People were not moving on the street the way these white people do, and in Williamsburg, people don't realize they'll be like Bernie, and in the meantime, they won't make eye contact with their waiter or waitress.
Mhm.
They don't realize the privilege they live in,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's exactly so with like,
I mean, I went to walk my dog, and like sometimes I'll forget bags. So when he takes a
Mhm.
shit, and like he took a shit in the middle of the street, and I let this lady know, this black lady, I was like, "Hey, just so you know, my dog, pooped," and she like just shakes her head, and I'm like, "All right, well, like you never forgot a bag. You don't have a dog, you never forgot the fucking bag." But really, it's like this lady forgets a bag, she might end up dead, you know?
she shook her head at you.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
She was
yeah,
just
yeah.
disappointed.
And then a couple days ago, but it's like you have to understand. I guess you have to understand that because a couple days ago, I was walking both my dogs. They both took a shit. I look in the little pouch. I don't have bags.
You have to fucking bring bags. When I walk,
I know.
when I walk, unless it's late
You
at
walk
night.
dogs
nobody's-
professionally?
No, I have Eddie, my dog, my child.
Uh-huh.
I can't walk dogs. I don't want to go in somebody's filthy, dirty apartment and pick up their dog
I don't want
for $1 a day.
to grow attached to those lovely dogs and then have to get fired from ever seeing them again.
Also, I love how there's so many comedians that walk dogs. There's so many comics that walk dogs, and then you try to call them and they just don't show up. They're like, please, I need work. Can I walk your dog or something? I just need to make my
How
rent.
the fuck do you make enough
Yeah,
money
like-
making your rent walking dogs?
You do like 4 in a day is $15.
I feel like the more brutal, like, the garbage waiting in the service industry.
Yeah.
It's like you have to do the real shitty stuff if, nobody's paying your bills at all.
Yeah.
Like
There's
anybody
no
that has like,
assistance.
I have a writing gig. I'm like, oh, okay, who's paying your fucking rent?
Right.
You know
It's
what I
almost
mean?
like if your dad.
Not,
is
writing gig for comedy. I
Right.
mean, like, some little
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
freelancey.
No, if your
Web.
dad's a defense contractor, he's probably gonna be like, "Can you walk a couple dogs just so people don't think I'm paying your rent to blow up kids in
But
Yemen?"
that's funny because it's so fucking true.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to see some
How
effort
are
from you,
supporting
Dennis.
yourself? Yeah.
Caitlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad, I walked 4 dogs this week. But that's the thing with the black community. And then also, like, I ran out of bags. Okay, which happens
Shaking her head.
sometimes.
Motherfucker.
No, but
faggot, wop, motherfucker. Like a goddamn faggot.
But what I
Kenny.
did- but
My
like-
neighborhood.
they
better
are
faggots.
critical.
Back in the day, he'd be cutting
they
half right
are
now.
they are
77.
critical. Yeah, they're very critical. But anyway, so both my dogs take a shit. Now I taught. Now and I'm like, shit. I already went to the deli twice this week to get bags, so I can't go back there. But there's a Brazilian restaurant across the street. And that's happened to me before. The dog takes a shit, and you go to get a bag, and someone almost immediately someone's like, pick that up. So I tie them both to a tree, and I'm like jogging to like go get a bag.
Aw.
And this Jamaican lady's like, "You don't clean up after your dog, sir?" And I'm like, "What do you fucking think I'm doing?" Like,
Go and murder some faggots like they do in your home
Yes,
country.
yeah, exactly. You
Thank
fucking
you.
animal.
Yeah.
Anyway. But she's just like, "You don't clean up after your dogs." I'm like, what do you think?
Please.
I'm abandoning them? You think they took one last shit and I'm running away
From a country
I'm
where it's
leaving
legal to
town?
fucking murder gay people, she's worried
Yeah.
about dog poop.
Exactly. I should have said that, Frank. I wish
Go
I had
murder
you.
some
I
gay
wish you
people.
were there. Yeah. Why don't you go murder some gay people?
I
you
can't do
fucking-
that dialect. I could
you
never do
fucking-
like that's hard. Jamaican's hard. Do it. Let
Yeah.
me do it again.
I-
No, do it again.
Oh boy, here we go.
Wait, no.
I got. Hey, I'm Jamaican.
meat
I
pie.
don't like.
I've heard a beer can in a British accent is bacon and a Jamaican accent.
Bacon.
Big.
Like my dick. Wow.
Mm.
That's great. Now I can remember it like that.
Yeah, get into
Bacon.
it. Yeah.
Bacon.
All right,
Beer
so
can.
back to black homophobia. So maybe the reason they're homophobic is because they have to have their shit together so much. So like sucking a dick is like, what are you doing? You're embarrassing us. Where it's like white people are just free to do whatever
Well,
they
first,
want.
a lot of. I mean, I've known a good handful of people thrown out of their houses as kids for being gay.
Yeah, sure.
White, because I didn't grow up with any black people on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really know what you're talking about, Mike.
Yeah.
So we're good.
And I really do think it's what we're exposed to as well. Like Chris DiStefano said, I was his first gay friend, and he met me when he was 27 with a doctorate.
Wow.
And he grew up in like the hood. So it also depends on what we're exposed to and where you're from, what you're involved with. Like I
Right.
did a lot of plays and stuff. I worked at Carvel. The reason I think why I had friends in high school is because I worked at Carvel. And the Tringali twins were both jocks. Michael Delcor was kind of like the guy who sold drugs. And then there was me, and I was funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of like, and I really wasn't very secretive about my life. So I kind of I got lucky. I mean, there were a couple of incidents, but really just like verbal. But I think that when people aren't exposed to shit, or when it's so forbidden where you're grown up, then,
They get violent, is what
Sure,
you're saying?
sure. I mean, it's just, if it's that fucked, if your father tells you or your mother tells you that it's that much of a, blasphemous or a sin or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if it's what you feel inside, you're going
Right.
to beat up other people. Like the dog, what is it? The husband kicks the wife, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you're Irish, aren't you? So that's the husband beats the wife,
The Irish
The husband
food chain.
drinks. There's no one. The wife can't cook, so the husband drinks, and he beats the wife. The wife beats the kids. The kids beat the child.
I got to tell you, I almost did your I'm sure your dad hit you, right? Italian family.
Not a lot, but like the 2 times he did, he remembered, and they haunted him for his life. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
remember that time I went to
Not
threaten
my
you with the
father.
belt and you moved and you got a bruise? I was like, threaten me with the belt and I moved. Or remember the time you jumped on my stomach when I was lying down and the wooden spoon broke? Yeah, I remember. Remember the time
Just
I
the way
left your
you're
room after I
describing it.
shot a load on your face and didn't make you come too? All right, that last one wasn't true.
I was in Jersey last night, and me and my dad got into a fight about Kavanaugh, and I told him he has no morals. And
Okay, here's another thing. Why are so many fucking Italians Republican? Why?
I don't know. It's like I think it's a Catholic thing. It's like a fascism thing. It's a
pro-life thing?
maybe a pro-life thing. Yeah, because
Holy shit.
Because Catholicism is very like
Religion again.
fascistic in nature, right? Where it's like you have the hierarchy, you have the guy at the top, the Pope, and then the captains, and then the and it's like there's the rank, and I think we like that for some reason.
I feel like you guys
We
hate
like that
immigrants
structure.
too.
I remember.
I hate Midwesterners who fucking come in here and drive up the rents. That's who I fucking hate.
Aunt Ellie said to me, she's the only one of my mother's siblings still alive. My dad was in the hospital in 2008. You know, Frankie, the Al Qaeda want the Obama to get it so he can destroy America. Frankie, I saw it on O'Reilly and I read it on the internet. I was like, oh, okay. Brilliant. Level 1 of the brilliance of my extended family.
I love that like that generation is like they see something on TV or on the internet.
Internet.
And they buy it.
On the internet.
Yeah.
Like it could have
There's
been
no
on like
lies or anything.
seriously, it could have been on like crackhore.com.
Yeah. It could have been a pop-up.
Bones for
that they
cum
read.
puppy. A pop-up.
Yeah.
A pop-up. Latin Inches Volume Art. A pop-up.
But
Latin
I mean,
Inches
do you
is a
think,
porn
do you think
magazine.
that's what it is? Because I think we love fascism. We love the structure of the mafia, right? We love the boss at the top and the captains because we
think
aspire
it's
to
like-
climb those ranks.
Well, I always say it's like Archie Bunker without the charm and without the jokes.
Yeah.
It's like a pre-digested, literally like what it sounds like, pre-digested.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the people from my high school and like their kids wearing Trump t-shirts, all from Long Island, like he's gonna make this, you watch, he's gonna fucking get elected a second time, he's gonna turn this whole fucking country around. I know what bathroom I'm supposed to use.
Yeah.
Like absolutely no compassion for something that they've never experienced or don't understand.
So there's something about left thinking, right, where it's like we're all equal, no one's better than anybody, and there's something about the right.
Well,
where
the
it's like,
severe
no,
left
they
shit.
worship the hierarchy
Right.
of
Well, because they're usually white and it works for them.
yeah. They
Like Italians
they
will
like the
not
structure.
admit that, hey, maybe we aren't so white after all.
They're not going to admit that if there's a race war, we're going to be on the front lines.
Well,
as
I
fucking
seriously,
cannon fodder.
when like blacks and Italians in all these Spike Lee movies, because he loves to portray us like illiterates,
yeah.
when they fight and hate each other and the Italians
Hey,
are so
Spike Lee,
racist,
why don't you? I can spell.
well, when they're racist and hate each other, I feel like it's because the two cultures are very similar.
Yeah.
And they're both
They're like Serbs
very,
and Croats.
They seriously had to like fight. We were lynched. Teddy Roosevelt said, "Good, more power to the people that do belong here." When we were lynched in New Orleans,
Is that true?
of 13 Italians in one place. Yes,
Yeah.
Of course, we were truly loathed and truly discriminated against. They
Right.
gave us Columbus Day, not because of Columbus, but for like the workers that came over that dealt with the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
There's truth in that. I'm really paraphrasing,
Right.
but like give
And I
these
think-
grunt workers that have been so shit on a thing.
And I think that's why the story of the mafia is so interesting because you don't really see it in the context of like today, where it's like we've kind of assimilated.
Are they all
But
old?
back then, what?
The mafia today, like if you go to Carroll Gardens,
Yeah.
you'll see some dude wearing like a polyester kind of like who's like literally in his early hundreds, wearing like polyester beige slacks outside of like a social club with blinds that never open and an Italian flag in the window.
I think those are the retirees.
I thought you were gonna say I think those are retarded people.
Yeah, I mean, same thing, right?
I like rigatoni the most. I'm not allowed to shop for all day.
Yeah, I do wonder what the rackets are nowadays.
Rackets.
It's got to be like Bitcoin and shaking people
I
down.
mean, it used to be coins from the laundromat. I don't know what like.
Yeah, cash businesses.
I don't know.
Stick with me, kid. I'll show you how to steal coins from the laundromat.
Hey.
But I think like you have to look at the historical context, and you have to think you have
Of
to look at
organized
how.
crime, you're talking
Yeah,
about?
and it's
Yeah.
like we were marginalized, and that was like our way of making it.
Yeah.
You know.
I wish that I knew
It's
more
almost
about
like
it because
if
it
it-
really is interesting, and I
Yeah.
should.
But it's almost like if there was, I mean, Mexicans is not really a good analogy, but if there was like a group, like a Muslim group or something that sort of banded together and ended up controlling most of the economy, I think it would be pretty impressive.
Right.
You know, and most of us
The
can't even
Jewish
read.
community.
We can't even read, and we fuck our mothers.
Well,
Yeah.
here's like the thing. I wish that Italians were more like the Jewish community.
Me too.
Like my brother-in-law was a dentist. He's ill now, but he was a dentist. If he were Jewish, he would have had a Jewish clientele, but he didn't have an all-Italian clientele in Massapequa, which is a primarily Italian area on Long Island. Italians don't support one another. Jews make sure their little 1% keeps going, and it's amazing to me.
Yep.
Like in show business, you know, very frequently Jews will help other Jews, which is an important and amazing thing. Italians don't fucking do that.
And it's almost like you're better off kind of focusing your attention on like your community and people who are like you. That's almost
have
almost
to.
more effective than caring about everybody, because you can't care about everybody.
What am
Well,
I supposed to
Italians
do?
don't. Take
Is a
advantage of your
soft
whiteness.
Take advantage of your whiteness,
Midwesterner.
yeah.
Who am I supposed to care for? Because I don't feel like I should be supporting other
Just go
whites.
back to Minnesota and open a hardware store.
Animals. What about the dogs?
Oh, I could help dogs.
support the animals.
Okay.
The pit bulls, the dog fighting.
I got you.
And also like so many other groups like Jews, and you hear like black people say, one thing you're going to do is you're going to go to school. I saved up for your college. No Italian has ever, like I had a relative that was like, hey, so Frankie, Yale didn't help, huh? They're so fucking, they don't hold education up. And they hold it in low esteem. It's like,
Yeah,
what are you going to
yeah,
do?
yeah.
Go get a fucking degree for?
Yeah, you're gonna be a sucker. Come work for me at the
mean,
plant.
Another reason we're like the blacks.
Well, no, because a lot of black people go to school and try and get out.
Yeah.
And a lot of Italians like, we
Yeah.
you fucking open an Exxon like your cousin Michael. He's got a house on the water.
Right.
Yeah, why can't you get a writing job?
Daughter's a fucking lesbian. Don't-
Yeah, it almost feels like in Italian culture, like intellectual pursuits are just like, who gives
it's
a
frowned
shit?
upon.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I think like my grandfather was, I don't know if he was a smart guy, but my uncle Enrico was like the dumbest guy ever, and he was like hilarious. Like this guy, I'll show you a video of him after the show. He had the best comedic time. Like every time he talked, it was just hilarious because he was so fucking stupid. he would go to Atlantic City. He would steal towels.
Atlantic City alone.
Oh boy.
Yeah, with his wife who had
Right.
Alzheimer's, and he would sit in front of a nickel machine, just give her a bucket of nickels, so he didn't have to deal with her.
Oh
She
my
would just pull the
God.
lever
Well, I mean,
all
that's
day.
love, though. You know.
No,
Yeah,
it's not. It's taking
He
care of
didn't leave
somebody.
her. You know.
but
It's like giving her what she wants.
he stole so many fucking towels from the hotel that the maids would just start giving him towels. They would put it in bags for him and be like, here's your towels, Enrico. He was like, so he would come home with towels. And then one time he got my family a room on like Easter Sunday. We went to Atlantic City.
Tropicana. What hotel?
I think the Taj.
The Taj. My mother
Yeah.
loved the Taj.
Make sure everybody
Italians
save your
love it
towel.
because you walk in, it's fucking. It looks like a fucking costume Cher would wear.
It's like
It's all
India.
glitz
India.
and glamour, and the Italians. My mother was like, "Oh, it's beautiful. The Taj Mahal. It's beautiful."
Yeah. So Uncle Enrico. So the maids in my family's room, the maids put the towels on the bed, and my dad like forgot to take the towels, and my Uncle Enrico like flipped out on him. He's like, "What the hell's the matter with you? Why are you taking the towels?" They had like bags and bags of towels.
Do you tell that on stage?
No, but I guess
What does he do with the
But
towels after
just
he
kept
gets
them in
them?
his fucking basement, and then
Because it's free.
This is a
it's
pile of
just-
towels.
Why they
stockpile
want you to
towels.
take it? They
You
want you
didn't
to take it
resell
home.
them, or?
soap and
Use
towels.
them?
We had like a closet full of boxes that said Trump soap on it. We just had like a whole thing of soap,
That's amazing.
towels, and they were probably used like people, like they probably had
Yeah.
cum all over them. But I guess he didn't care. And then when I was moving into an apartment when I was in college, and I went over my mom was like, "Let's go to his house." I go under his staircase. The whole staircase is just full of like toasters, George Foreman grills. He would get all this free shit from the
How?
casino
From
because
the
he
casino?
would like acquire points from the casino. He was like, they all knew him over there. He's like, "Yeah, I'll go down there." The guy say, "Hey, Ricky, how you doing?" He'd always say, "How you doing?" And yeah, but he was pretty fucking dumb. And his wife had Alzheimer's, so I'm like under his staircase. It looked like the stock room at Target, just all these appliances. And I'm like, can I take this? Can I take this? and his wife is yelling at him. She's like, "What are you doing down there?" I'm like, "Can I take this?" He's like, "Yeah, shut the hell up. I'll bring it to you." Because she couldn't see me leave with the
appliances,
with her appliance, with one of her 10 like George Foreman grills.
When I was 6 years old, we had not distant relatives, my father's cousins that I used to call aunt and uncle because they were in their however old they were. They were old.
Yeah.
And I think they were two first cousins that married, Josie and Dominic. And yeah, I remember hearing she threw a sugar bowl at her daughter-in-law, and my mother would tell the story and she said, "Get out of my house, you F," because my mother wouldn't curse. Anyway, my point is they had a relative, another cousin named Sally, an older sister of Josie Ventule's. She had Alzheimer's. And I was 6 years old, and I came out, my little kid self. And she went to my mother, "Oh, Gilda, what a beautiful little girl." And I was mortified. A woman had called me a girl who had Alzheimer's disease. The next time, 2 or 3 years later, the woman was at our house twice. She did the same thing again. And she had Alzheimer's disease. I'll never forget that. It was like the most humiliating. It was like, do people with Alzheimer's disease have like a third eye or something? Did they know like a child homosexual? Because I looked like a little jock.
Yeah.
I played baseball and soccer and stuff like
what
that.
a beautiful little queer.
Wait.
This lady's going. This lady's brain is fried.
Like in the 50s and stuff, they would say the retard child needs to be, they would say the word retard. Our neighbor, God rest my mother's soul, she didn't mean to be horrible. She was so sweet. Our neighbor had Alzheimer's disease, and they found her in like a CVS wearing her bathrobe and slippers. Yeah. My mother was like, "I think that woman next door is retard." And I was like, "Mom, Mrs. Fick has Alzheimer's disease." Yeah, she's retard. And I was like, "No. She poops in the closet. She has Alzheimer's disease." Yeah,
that was just the
she's
word
a
that you used.
retard.
She's you correct
She's
her. No, she's
retard.
retarded.
Let's get back into this article a little bit. So here's just something at the end. There's a little section called "Fighting Back." It says, "One of the most compelling findings of my study was what happened when these gay gang members were derisively called fag or faggot by straight men in bars, on buses, in schools, or on the streets. Many responded with their fists." I love that she's like, I guess she's like Jane Goodall or something, observing these people. But some fought back even if they weren't openly
Many
gay.
responded with their fists as opposed to having an intelligent conversation. Like the Brady Bunch. Use your words first.
Use your words, right. It was important for them to be able to construct an identity as a man who wasn't going to be messed with, a man who also happened to be gay. Their responses were revealing. "I'll fight you like I'm straight. I'm going to show you what this faggot can do." They were also willing to defend others derided as fags in public, even though this could signal they were gay themselves. So I guess that's an interesting dynamic there where, it's like you're gay, but you don't want it to define who you like. Do you feel that you don't want your sexuality? You don't want people to think less of you because of your sexuality.
Well, not so much less of me. I don't really care about that for some reason. I don't know. I've never. I don't really care about. I don't know. That hasn't been part of my experience. Someone thinking less of me, except for maybe on stage, and I don't know about it.
Did you have a hard time coming out, or did you spend time
No,
in the closet?
I didn't. Like my mother told me, she was like, "I know that you're gay, and I love you."
Oh wow!
I started to cry, and then she sent me in college. She sent me a postcard of a man in a Speedo on the beach, missing. Wish you were here from Florida. Like they had a sense of they were. I'm sure
Wait,
they weren't happy.
She told you that when you were 11.
No, when I was 8. Can you imagine?
You were 8?
Because I was like, "Dad didn't let me come last night when he molested me. He left my room." Stop it.
Dad blue balled me.
No, when I was like 22. I was 21, 22. And I had been like, running around with dudes. But what the fuck? No,
So that's when your mom said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was probably never going to tell them. What was weird to me, probably because I went to college for acting, I went to grad school for acting. What was weird to me when I started comedy, after everyone in my family died and I became a comic, when I started stand-up, I didn't really have gay material, but I didn't hide who I was. And I remember it was like a thing. Like I remember doing a podcast with Justy Dodge and what's his name? Danny LaBelle, I think. And Dan Natterman was on it. And I walked in and he went, "Oh, this Frank, gay Frank." Like to comics, it became like a thing. Like, "Oh, you're the gay guy." And it was like, whoa, like I'd never really experienced.
And you felt like it was kind of putting you in a box?
I'd never experienced that before.
That was the only time he was ever in a box.
Like they'd be like, "Hey, honey," or like
a pussy.
"Oh, do you like this belt or whatever?" I'd be like, if you hang yourself with it, I don't. What the fuck?
What a weird attempt.
That's
at
why
humor.
it's like
because it was just something you were just being who you were.
Yeah.
That's
not
like,
so much as a Tim Dillon who's like anti-gay, but not like a Mateo who kind of like it's just who he is. You know what I mean? It's I'm just Frank. I'm just me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to be like this one thing. I don't know. It was like, wow, that's what they know me for when I'm talking about like, you know, I don't know, suicide in my family or illnesses or oh my God, my premises. You know what I mean? It's like that's what they hone in. I don't even have a joke about
But
it.
there's some
Yeah.
people. There's people who do that, and then there's people who don't. I think.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you'd hope like it wasn't.
I think it's tougher
Most
in the beginning.
intelligent
Like,
people
yeah.
aren't going to do that.
It's tougher in the beginning.
I guess what I want to say is
You're
I have a
right, because they're open mic people and stuff. It's
Yeah.
tougher in the beginning. You're right. Now it's
Yeah.
not like that anymore.
Yeah.
But you're right.
I just think you're like a person.
Thanks, Mike.
Person Frank.
I
Oh,
just think you're
person
like
Frank.
really hot, like you know, a girl with a fucked up shape.
Yeah. So I have a cousin. So I don't want to say anything. You
Man
know,
or
I don't-
woman?
God, he's 5.
Okay. Oh God.
Yeah. But
Let's talk
so
some
I was,
shit. Yeah, let's get
Yeah.
into
You
it.
want to know? I know.
Hey,
Go
kid.
ahead. Tell me he's in drama camp.
Not yet.
Does he know who Barbara Streisand is yet?
No. I should send him a tape or
Is
something.
he
Oh my
begging to
God.
see Star is Born even though it's rated R?
What?
Have you guys watched The Dancing Queen on Netflix yet?
No.
It's-
okay.
But I did go over his house, and you know my cousin's got like a nice. It's my cousin's kid. My cousin got a nice house. and
Where is
everything
it? Jersey?
In Denver.
Okay.
I was doing a So his name's Lincoln.
The kid?
Yeah.
Log. Okay.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like.
Lincoln.
But he goes.
This
goes-
is your mom's side, the white side.
my dad's side.
Lincoln? What's the wife? She must be waspy.
She's waspy. Yeah.
So we're full blown outing this kid.
Lincoln is the middle name
No,
Denim.
when he was born, I was like.
Lincoln Denim.
No, it's a shitty. It's a weird
Mastro
name for-
Bono.
It's a
Okay.
weird name for a kid, right?
Lincoln?
Yeah, when he was born, I was like, "What the fuck are they doing?"
Hoping
I
you
don't
get
know. Maybe it's
shot.
like one of those new ones. It's at least
That's
it's not
because
like
you're
Willow or
Because
like
you're from Idaho. That's why you don't know.
Tranquility.
Lincoln is a horrible name to
It's
name a
kind of
child.
horrible name for a
Le Lincoln.
kid. Yeah.
If like you're ever in Brooklyn, you're like, my name is Lincoln. They'll be like, fuck you, Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. What's wrong with Lincoln?
Well, he goes. I want to show you my room. Look how clean. Look how
God.
clean it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He goes, look how clean my room is. Everything was like organized.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I did this, but he goes, look, all my stuffed animals are organized on the bed and stuff.
Okay.
And
How old is he?
He's like 5,
So he could just be a dick.
maybe.
Okay, go
'cause
ahead.
He was calling me dirty.
No, because he was like,
He
look
thinks
how
'cause
clean
he's-
my
He
room
thinks 'cause
is.
he's waspy. He can tell his.
So
he
go
can
on.
show
Wait,
off
go
to his
on.
Yeah, I
cousin.
wanna see where you're
No, 'cause
going.
these aren't like the gay signs yet. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, I'm like thinking.
Like when I got pulled over last night,
Yeah.
the cop asked me if I was living out of my car because my car's so filthy.
Oh yeah.
I have so many water bottles in the back and like Taco Bell
That's so
bags.
funny. Mike just thinks clean is gay.
Clean is gay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Cursive is
No, I
gay.
bet there's
All right.
more. There's probably more though.
So I like to mess with him a little bit. I go, oh, it's so clean here. I took one of his stuffed animals. I like threw it off the bed,
Mhm.
and he cried.
That's gay.
Yeah.
He's gay.
Yeah.
And not only is he gay, he's a bottom, so he's gonna get fucking plowed.
You think?
And now in this era in Colorado, in Denver, what the fuck is he gonna identify as?
Oh,
Is when
man.
what the fuck is he gonna? I'm Demi Sapio Pan Corn on the Cob sexual. So you have to accept me. He cried when you threw. Well, he's a kid, Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like me
You
almost.
threw a stuffed animal off the bed and he cried. That means he has no sense of humor.
Okay, this definitely sounds like me.
Maybe. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Like there's some story, I forget who it is. It's in like I Killed or whatever comedy book that many of us, all of us have.
Mhm.
I feel like 3 comics, like Chris Rock, blah, blah, blah. They're standing around and these kids take away another kid's bicycle who's sitting there crying and they're riding it around. And Chris Rock or whoever, Seinfeld, points to the kid and goes, that's the next stand-up comic. You know what I mean? So you
Oh,
like
the kid
never
who got his
know.
bike stolen?
Anybody, because he's the kid who's crying, who's getting picked on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody worth their weight in salt as a comic, I think,
Yeah.
just has some kind of fucking rocks in their backpack.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's not gay. Like one of my closest friends, his stepson, I can't say who it is,
Mhm.
watches Beauty and the Beast constantly, wants to go to drama school, comes out wearing his sister's clothes all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, but at least you know.
But there are
that-
so
I'm
many.
loving-
The best you can hope for is that it. Well,
You're-
I don't want to say because
You're
I'm gonna get hate mail.
protecting your friend's stepson,
I'll
and
tell you
Mike's
after.
just
The
like,
best you can
oh, my
hope for-
fucking cousin
Frank's
in
like,
Colorado.
The best you can hope for is not some fucking tranny.
I was not going to say that. I was actually going to say that, but I wouldn't have used that.
I mean, I hope he's just a regular queen instead of some.
because it's a hard life.
Yeah, it's hard to get your
If
dick
you're
cut off.
6'2" and you look like a fucking linebacker,
Mr. Garrison over here.
Mr. Garrison. If you're a gentle giant and you're like, do you have this lipstick in fuchsia? Like it's going to be a hard fucking life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully the kid's just gay. He'll learn to fight.
Right.
I'll
yeah,
tell you after.
I don't. It's gonna. That's gotta be tough. You're like, I have to get this cut off.
You mean if you identify as a different gender?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what? I was in a coffee shop. There's a Think Coffee at the LGBT Center
Mm-hmm.
on 13th and 7th. It's a coffee shop where I used to like to go with the album to like listen to edits and stuff like that because nobody's going to bother me. I can sit alone.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a transgendered woman, which means they used to be a man, probably early to mid 60s with like blue hair, like a bob. Like nothing says look at me more than like, you know, still look like a dude.
Yeah.
And I heard her talking about like the walkover and being to like her friends and being harassed. And it's like, that was like such a sad fucking,
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
it was really like, what's
You
her
don't
name?
fucking care.
Yeah, of course I care.
What's her name who moved to fucking Portland? So funny. Sarah, who used to be Joe.
Sarah Maywalt.
Holy shit. Talk about a brilliant fucking comic who never wrote shit down, would just go up and like rant. I was like, you're fucking brilliant. But the first time I went to a diner with her, I was like, oh my God. Like this like looks and things is a permanent kind of life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's hard. It's like when I was walking up the street next to people screaming, "I love you. You're fucking amazing." I was walking a block and a half, and next to me I realized it was Chappelle. When I remember when the Virgin Megastore was smoking a cigarette in a tank top, sweating. He had just left the show, and I saw what it was like to walk in his shoes, and I see why he walked away from that money. Like he didn't have a life. He couldn't walk half a block. So it's, you know, my heart goes out to people. That's why I say I hope he's just gay and not transgendered, because the rest of the world is so cruel.
Yeah.
You know?
Something I wanted to ask you. I forget.
Have I wanted to ever be transgendered? No.
Yeah.
But I wish I was friends with like Barbara Streisand.
Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever been like, maybe the reason I'm unhappy is because I don't. Oh, this is.
Wait, who are you addressing?
He Mike pointed
Have
at
you
me
ever
when he
wondered
started
if you
this
were-
question.
That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
That's what I wanted the listeners
I'm
to know.
getting ready to answer.
Yeah.
Like
I
you'd
don't-
have trouble finding clothes.
Me?
Yeah, as a
yeah.
woman.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure I understand Mike's question.
What's the
though.
question? What's the question?
Have you ever been like, oh, maybe I'm transgendered?
Oh, no, I've never felt like that.
Yeah.
But it would be tough. Boy, that would be tough.
I don't know what it would feel like. I understand, like some people say it's
So-
like having the brain of the opposite gender. You know, it's
So
for
it's
some-
like you go to drive a car and you can't do it. You're like, oh no.
Jeez.
You know?
Oh, boy.
your first fight with your wife, you're holding a rolling pin
Yeah.
and wagging
Like
it in the air.
Yeah.
I love that.
What
Like,
am I
this is
doing?
Typical.
Yeah.
You hit your wife on the head with a rolling pin. You're like, I'm sorry, it's because I'm a woman.
You're screaming at her for not coming to the table and watching football on Sunday when the meatballs are ready.
It's like Ricky Gervais, though. It'd be like, hey, Caitlyn Jenner, that's how you know she's a woman. She can't drive. They didn't
Oh,
do that in
yeah,
special,
the
and
accident.
Fucking hack. But anyway, what I want to say was I was just thinking, because we were talking about comedy in the beginning of this, right? So this is interesting. I was looking at old Norm Macdonald Weekend Update clips, and there's this one joke where he goes, there's a custody battle in West Virginia between a woman and her ex-husband who is now transitioning to be a female. And then he goes, gee, I wonder who's going to win this custody battle, the mother of the boys or the man who got his penis twisted into a fake vagina. And it's like, I don't know how to feel about that, because it is, I guess, it is kind of funny. Like,
See, that
hear
that
it-
to me is a lame punchline. That to me is weak.
yeah.
Yeah, that to me is like, because I do kind of believe that if something is funny, it's funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like when I've heard people tell like Russman Eve,
Mhm.
you know, pink is still the old black, but it's the new gay. Pink is the new black, but it's the old gay.
Mhm.
Like if it's funny, I don't care. Like Sarah Silverman, the best time to be pregnant is when you're a black teenager. Or I was raped by my doctor, which is so bittersweet for a Jewish girl.
Yeah.
If it's funny,
But Frank, I guess
but
I guess
that,
what's
Mike likes
But I guess
anything
what's-
about loving your mother.
that to me is not funny.
but listen, I guess what's funny
Yeah.
is like the ignorance of it. you
Well,
know?
if it's West Virginia, yeah, that if that's what somehow comes out in that joke, then that is funny because it's West Virginia also.
No, it's like the bit, like what's funny about that is like him being ignorant and just like there's something funny about ignorance. I think. Yeah. I don't know. It's funny how we seem to be on different sides of the
Of that?
table
Of that
from
joke?
from the beginning to now. Yeah, right. Because I'm like,
Well, I'm not like offended or anything. My comic mind says it's not a great joke. It's like, like I have a joke the punchline is, so after I shot him, and it gets a really big laugh. And I feel guilty doing it because you're not supposed to say shot because it's an easy laugh. And I always feel this pang of like, you're lazy. You should have been working on that joke for the last 9 years. And it's like, shit, like that. It just sounds like a lazy joke to me. And it also, the language is a little bit like twisted into a vagina. It's a little bit. They actually cut it down the middle and peel it, I think.
Yeah.
Today's my 9-year anniversary in stand-up. Thank you.
All right. That's crazy. You can remember it after this.
October 9th.
How do you remember? Was
I
it
don't know.
particularly?
Because
spending it.
I came back.
Oh.
And I had quit. I did it for like half a year, and I came back like the week after my birthday.
and look where
Got
you
it.
are.
Oh,
You're in a
mhm.
living room in Astoria, not doing a spot
And I
tonight.
can't wait to fucking go to Burger King.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
We're coming up here. It's been an hour 10.
Oh yeah.
That's
Okay.
enough.
All right,
Yeah.
fine. Wait, I have an outline here. Yeah, I guess that's
So you can see
that's
how the
everything.
show
I mean,
goes.
there was
I have an outline here. See, that's the
some
white side. That's the white side. I have an outline here.
well, there was some other stuff I want to get into.
All right.
Adam Carolla, the gay mafia, but we got to do another episode. So,
Okay.
maybe we'll save it for next time, huh?
Sure.
Anyway, well, let me just find. Let's just do this for about 5 minutes.
Did you?
'Cause
Well,
I don't
Mike, today, like you had to take that post down. Oh, your ignorant joke. You don't want
What
to talk about
post?
that?
What
That
post?
No, let's talk
super
about that.
relevant thing. All right.
All right. Adam Carolla, as ever, this is from 2014. Adam
Mhm.
Carolla, as ever, has a few things to get off his chest. The comedian and podcaster whose broadcast career began with The Man Show became a full-throttled advocate. Has become a full-throated advocate for what he views as pragmatism. He's unguarded about his opinions as anyone who's written a book describing his ideal America ought to be, and he's quick to remind an interviewer that he's not a politician, so he can say what he likes. As for the question of representation in comedy, well, anyway, this is not the article that I looked at eventually, but
Well, what was
earlier.
the
but
gist of it? What was
the gist of
of
it
it?
was the gist of it was Adam Carolla being like, "Yeah, I just wish gays would get married so they could shut the fuck up," and the whole thing about you can't be in show business if you don't like gay people, but it just seemed very dismissive of LGBT rights. When
Well, he's
when
always
they're
done that.
still-
He's one of the women aren't funny guys too. I mean,
Right.
like stupid doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if
it's-
somebody's like evolved and goes to therapy and gets to know themselves a little bit, like what I was talking before about like wanting to change that segment, that doesn't strike me as his behavior. He doesn't seem like someone who like evolves and grows.
Yeah.
Like Jerry Lewis
Right.
is what, 91 and he's still an asshole.
He's dead.
Mhm.
No, he's not.
Jerry Lewis is dead.
Jerry Lewis is
He
alive.
died like last year.
Friars Club.
You didn't know Jerry Lewis is dead?
Jessica and I were just talking about we don't want to go to Friars
Oh,
Club.
Yeah. He also apparently said that this is the article that I found. He said that LGBT people should just call themselves yuck. Then ended the tirade with a question: when did we start giving a shit about these transgender people?
Oh my God, he's dead.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sorry, Frank.
It's so crazy that you can do a show with somebody and then go on to do the late
I
night
don't know, that
show,
stuff
and
doesn't-
one of them goes on to write
That
that
stuff
article.
doesn't bother me. If it's the president, it bothers me. But if it's a comic nobody's ever heard of besides comedians, who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't. I mean, I don't know why. It just probably. You know what it is? I do know why. It's because I lost my parents, my sister. My best friend committed suicide and was decapitated lying down in traffic. Who gives a fuck about Adam Carolla?
Oh,
How old is he?
Too
He's
old.
like too
You know
old,
what I
yeah.
mean? Is he ever gonna be in a position to help me or my friends or have a sitcom?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who cares?
Yeah.
If he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah.
No.
You know about with him. But if it's like, somebody who's on the Supreme Court for the next 40 years that can like take my life in their hands, that's pretty scary to me.
Yeah.
But this is a guy who's like, he goes, the Asians beat the rigged system and they did better than white people. You don't think that's something to look into? And then he goes, maybe there's just not any Asian comedians. So
There's
that
more of a
kind of
true-
like, I don't know. I guess that
Well, he
that
does
mentality
sound like
of
an
people
asshole.
being like- yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He really sounds like an idiot.
Yeah.
Who Will Vinton, Oscar-winning legend of claymation, dies?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Good
I
riddance.
care about that even less than Adam
No,
Carolla.
he made the California Raisins.
Oh.
Oh no, him and Jerry Lewis.
Which they're not like allowed to show anymore.
They're not?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Who
Some
called
cop-
Flavor Flav a California
copy.
raisin on his roast?
I don't remember.
Martin Lewis on the Def Comedy Jam Greatest Hits. Flavor Flav was there, and Martin Lewis goes. Martin Lewis, I get so jealous of people that write like this. He goes, Flavor Flav is so ugly. Cockroaches come out of the wall and go, Daddy! I thought that was brilliant.
And then didn't Greg Giraldo have a thing where he's like, Cat Williams, what a tiny little pimp. He's like, pimp ain't easy when you got to stand on a phone book to smack a bitch. Anyway.
Oh man.
All right. Well, everybody, buy Frank's album.
Wait a minute. Yeah, Confederate Fag comes out October 16th.
Yeah.
And the party is at New York Comedy Club, pre-release party on October 15th. You can get tickets on their website, New York Comedy Club. The cheapy tickets code is Italian ISIS. So if you're going to murder me from this podcast,
Italian ISIS.
Italian ISIS 9/15, October 15th at New York Comedy Club.
Nice.
Yeah, Confederate Fag on Spotify or whatever the fuck they're going to put it on. And I won't make any money off.
Yeah, very cool. Just email me the link and I'll make sure to add it after because this will go up tomorrow. But I can add it.
Oh yeah, I don't know,
post.
pre-sale and shit. I will.
Cool.
Cool.
Mm.
Also, yeah, thanks everybody. Come to our live show on the 24th, the Philly Punchline.
Yeah.
Follow us, support us on Patreon.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on the
for
show.
being on. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
There's that
We didn't even
fucking
get
Philly
any-
thing.
What?
There's that Philly, Pennsylvania thing. Thanks for being on. Going over on the fee rate of Spanos and get a fucking hoagie.
Rate us 5 stars.
On.
That's the least sexy accent that
Philly?
that's ever lived. Yeah, that's ever
Go on now. Fuck me up the asshole. Go on. Oh, go over there. Go over there and get that fucking. It's a rough one.
Yeah,
No,
well,
Boston, though. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Boston's like retarded.
Philly's more. I think
Shock
Philly's
in the
more,
water.
yeah, but Philly's more retarded than Boston.
Yeah. On Long Island, they sound like Harvard
More
graduates.
famous
please.
people.
Yeah.
Boston.
Anyway, well, thanks everybody. Support us on Patreon. Follow us on Twitter at SitDownPod, Instagram at SitDownPod, and email us sitdownpod@gmail.com. We try to read every email, and we love to hear from you. So thank you. God bless, and fuck your mother.